Right now on Hoosier News Source, 2 murders at a Bloomington homeless encampment in less than a month. What a Bloomington homeless shelter director says the community can do to help.
Plus, a string of burglaries was reported at dorm halls over winter break. What the thieves got away with and what IUPD says you should do to keep it from happening to you.
And the new city ordinance will soon require public businesses to be more inclusive to those with disabilities. We'll tell you how. Hoosier News Source starts now. A Bloomington woman is in jail and charged with murdering a man at a homeless encampment earlier this month. The second killing at that spot in less than a month. Hello and welcome to Hoosier News Source. I'm Ashton, Hackman.
And I'm Cali, Lichter. New court documents help show what happened in the moments leading up to the murder and how police tracked down the suspect. Police arrested a woman they believe killed Curtis Butler, a man suffering from homelessness, back on January 9th. According to witnesses, Evelyn, also known as Shorty, was arguing with Butler and had his .22 caliber revolver in hand. During the argument, a witness saw her fire the gun once in the air before threatening to shoot Butler through the tent he was in. She then fired 4 times to the tent, killing him. Police arrested her at an apartment and charged her with murder.
This recent murder makes 2 crimes in 2 months, both involving someone suffering from homelessness and both resulting in their death. However, Dana Jones, director of the Bloomington Wheeler Mission's Men's Shelter, said it's important not to believe the stigma that those experiencing homelessness are violent communities. He said that stigma can be harmful and makes it harder to help those in need. Instead, Jones said the best way to help is community support.
I really would love to see we treat people well, right? Watch stigma, treat people well, provide resources necessary and encouragement to move to that next spot.
The Wheeler Mission Men's Shelter aims to provide those resources. It offers both short-term and long-term living arrangements, along with 3 meals a day, 7 days a week.
Dorm halls on campus have also seen a rise in recent crimes, specifically thefts. Our Sydney Moore explains.
7 dorm thefts have been reported since Thanksgiving break last semester.
We do see a small rise in these crimes over, fall break, winter break, times when students and less people are around campus.
2 thefts occurred during winter break inside Reed Hall with no signs of forced entry. Officer Skibba offers prevention tips to help ensure the safety of students in the future.
It is important that you maybe record the serial numbers to your devices. So your laptop, AirPods, cell phone, anything that has a serial number, make sure you write those down and keep them in a safe place.
Both instances showed no signs of forced entry. Freshmen say they would like to see more security actions taken in the future to prevent this.
I take precautions in making sure everything's sealed up tight, but I do know people that have door troubles when it's not closed all the way and people can just open it from the outside even when it's locked.
Every time I leave the room, I feel like I always make sure the door's closed behind me, especially if I'm going to the dining hall or I'm going further to class or anything. So unless my roommate's in here, our door is always closed, which I feel like really helps. But I also have a safe to keep more valued stuff in, so money, obviously, those kind of things.
And we encourage people to report suspicious behavior whenever they see it.
To report an incident, be sure to dial 911 or call 812-855-4111 to contact IUPD. For Hoosier News Source, I'm Sydney Moore.
A sorority house was also victim to a theft over winter break. Get a good look at your screen. IU police say these 2 people were captured on video snatching packages in the front porch of Sigma Delta Tau. It recently happened on New Year's Eve. The pair allegedly got away with packages from nearly a dozen residents. And police need your help finding a person wanted for a counterfeit money investigation. Recognize the person you see on your screen. Anyone with information on either case is asked to contact IUPD.
A Bloomington City Council member will resign from her position after only a few weeks. Shruti Rana, Bloomington's first person of color to serve as a City Council member, was sworn in on January 1st. Previously, Rana was the Senior Assistant Dean for Curricular and Undergraduate Affairs for the IU Hamilton Luger School. In September, Rana accepted positions at the University of Missouri. Rana planned to work remotely for the university while serving as a City Council member, but eventually decided to relocate with her family and resign. She steps down on February 7th. A recent Bloomington law will soon require bars to turn on closed captions on all TV screens. The ordinance extends to all public areas, including restaurants. The Americans with Disabilities Act mandates that public places turn on closed captioning upon request, but the new law would require it regardless. Now, not all TVs have to have closed captions if other screens are playing the same channel. A deaf woman we talked to says it's about inclusion.
So providing captioning or an ASL interpreter, you know, for events, conventions, everyone can have accessibility and get the information in the same way.
The law will go into effect at the start of next year.
As April's total solar eclipse grows near, IU is encouraging student organizations to get involved. The university says that registered groups may apply for the grant to support activities and events leading up to and on the day of the eclipse. The deadline to apply is January 28th. We have a link to more information on this story on our website, IUSTVnews.com.
IU announced the creation of implementation committees and an updated website for its climate action plan. President Whitten approved the plan in September. It creates a roadmap for the university to achieve carbon neutrality by 2040. All 7 of IU's campuses have their own committee that is made up of students, faculty, and staff. The website now features several dashboards to show where IU is at on their climate goals.
A broken fire sprinkler forced businesses to close down at Dunkirk Square Monday night. Our team spotted fire crews in the area around 5. Businesses like the Upstairs Pub closed for the evening. You can imagine how many college kids reacted to that news. The leak was fixed later in the evening. A car burst into flames after hitting a tree early Monday. The Monroe Fire Protection District says crews found the vehicle off Maple Grove Road around 3 in the morning. The passengers were able to get safely out of the car.
A well thought out free will decision being made by the person who's going to die anyway because they have the terminal disease.
Bloomington's state representative is pushing a bill to allow medically assisted suicide in the state. Why, he says it is needed.
And a home explosion rocks a southern Indiana community. The search for a missing person on the other side of this break.
You're watching IU Student Television.
A proposed bill by Indiana State Representative Matt Pierce could bring medically assisted suicide to the Hoosier state. Pierce represents the Bloomington district in the Indiana House. The bill would allow terminally ill patients to have the option to end their life on their terms. The bill would also establish felonies for anyone who would pressure someone into taking the option. Pierce has proposed the bill for the last few legislative sessions, but it has never passed committee. He said the goal of the bill is to allow those suffering to have some level of comfort.
If you meet people who are suffering from terminal diseases that are going to force them to go through a tremendous amount of pain and suffering, and death is inevitable, so why not give them the opportunity to manage the end of their own lives?
The next step for Pierce's bill is to go before a House committee. Several other bills are working their way through the House. House Bills 1093 and 1062 both aim to loosen the state's child labor laws and make certain exemptions for younger ages. Another bill, 1002, is now in front of the Senate and would legally define anti-Semitism. Also in the state is Senate Bill 187, which would ban public transportation from offering free or reduced fare rides for election days. We'll, of course, keep you posted on the status of these bills. Unemployment claims in Indiana are up from last week. The Department of Labor reports that 5,300 Hoosiers filed for unemployment last week. That's up from 5,000 the week before. Nationwide, unemployment claims fell by 16,000.
One person is missing after a house explosion in southern Indiana. It happened near French Lick on Monday night. Authorities say the blast could be heard from 10 miles away. Fire officials say houses up to half a mile away were damaged. One witness said he not only heard the blast, but could feel it.
This scared me to death. I felt a concussion. I heard it. I came outside, ran down the hill a little bit because I wasn't sure where this was. I went to my neighbor's house to make sure she was doing all right and could still see debris floating.
The cause of the blast is still unknown, but the explosion remains under investigation.
An Indiana state trooper is recovering after he was hit by a car in Indianapolis. It happened along Interstate 65 on Saturday. ISP officials say Trooper Azaria Keith was helping a stranded driver with a flat tire in the far left lane. Police say a car approached the road hazard at a high rate of speed, lost control, and hit Trooper Keith. The trooper was hospitalized with serious injuries, but is expected to be okay. Police say the driver of the car was intoxicated nearly 2 times the legal limit. And state police are also investigating after a reported drunk driver slammed into a sheriff deputy's patrol car in northern Indiana. We're told an 18-year-old crossed the center line along State Road 15 in Elkhart, crashing head-on to the deputy. The officer was treated at the hospital and released. The other driver was hospitalized with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The case remains under investigation.
Still ahead, the GOP presidential primary field is getting smaller. Why Ron DeSantis is now out of the race.
And it has been wet, rainy, and cold, but will it last? Quentin is in with a check of your forecast when we come back.
What's Up Weekly with Cali Lichter and Lucy Kellison, Wednesdays on IUSTV.
Florida Republican Governor Ron DeSantis is the latest presidential hopeful to end his campaign for the White House. DeSantis finished second in the Iowa caucuses. He became an early contender after his big re-election win in 2022. DeSantis said he will support the current frontrunner, former President Donald Trump.
It's clear to me that a majority of Republican primary voters want to give Donald Trump another chance. I signed a pledge to support the Republican nominee, and I will honor that pledge.
Voters went to the polls on Tuesday in New Hampshire. Nikki Haley is the only other major contender still in the race.
A blood test may soon be able to screen for Alzheimer's disease before a patient shows any symptoms. A recent study shows the new blood test is as accurate as brain scans or spinal taps, which can be expensive and hard to access. Right now, the blood test is only being used for research work, but could soon see clinical trials. The price tag, though, estimates say the test would cost between $200 and $500.
Let's turn to weather. It's been rather cold, and as you can tell by the look of that camera, it's been foggy as well. Quite frankly, just weather that I don't care for. I don't know about you, but...
Oh, I definitely wanted to see some nice spring weather, and I don't think this is quite it.
It's better than snow and, negative degree temperatures, but, that's all right. We're at least dealing with some nicer weather coming up, so... For our weather headlines, we've got some soggy starts to our week for today and tomorrow, but with some above average temperatures, and we'll get to that in our 7-day outlook. So here's our weather map for our low pressure systems bringing us all this moisture for the next 2 days. This low pressure system from the Gulf and this low pressure system from Canada coming together and just filling our atmosphere with moist air, creating fog for our morning today on Thursday. And then getting out of here by the end of Thursday. As for on Sunday, IU women's basketball will be facing Northwestern at 2 p.m. At 10 o'clock in the morning, we may see some AM snow showers with temperatures about 37, so that snow won't stay around for too long. At 2 o'clock when the game starts, mostly cloudy skies with a light chance of rain with temperatures around 41. At 6 p.m., those conditions continue with temperatures around 39. As for today, rain, and some more rain. Around 12 o'clock, we'll have temperatures at 48. Around 4 o'clock, temperatures at 52. And at 8 p.m., temperatures around 50 degrees. As for the rest of our week, again, Wednesday and Thursday, we have this rain coming, but it'll get out of here. And then on Friday, temperatures at 47, and then with a low at 36. Saturday, we'll have some scattered showers with temperatures at 45 and a low at 31. And then for Sunday, we'll have some AM flurries and then temperatures at 41 with a low of 30. And then Monday and Tuesday with mostly cloudy skies with highs in the mid 40s or low 40s and lows at 29 and 28.
Not too bad. I'd prefer 90s and sun, but...
it's, again, we're not freezing. So... better than nothing.
That is really true.
All right, Quinn, thank you. And thank you for watching this week's Hoosier News Source.
As always, be sure to follow us on social media and check out IUSTV.com to stay up to date on all the latest news, weather, and sports.
Have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you back here next week.